What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man, Sauce. How you going, buddy?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Good to see, doesn't matter where we are in this world. The show happens, mate. It gets done once a week. We're up here ready to supply you with the best review of week in sports that there is all of the World Wide Web or wherever you're listening on your favorite app. Doma, it's been a big week. The Dons, the Lions get the job done. Absolutely smash Sydney, and we'll delve into that. Manny in the chat. Good to see you, Manny. More time friendly for yourself, so
Yeah,
good to
well,
see that you're in
Manny's
here.
a bit upset at me at the moment, but at the same time, he's also happy with me because um, I am in New York City. I am on
Yep, Doma.
his side of town, clearly, and he's a bit upset
New
because
York.
exactly. But I've been hearing that so much in Times Square. They try and rope in all the tourists in there to do like take photos, and I'm just like, get out of here, mate. So no, I'm in New York, and I did catch a Giants Dallas Cowboys game here, and Manny's very upset because he's like, I could have planned the trip, and I felt bad. I said to him like, "What, are you going to come here just to see me? Like, you're wasting your money, mate. It's nothing special. Like, come on." But
Nah, mate, you can see him once a week live on YouTube,
exactly.
buddy.
But he's
So
happy though at the
tune in.
same time. Manny's happy at the same time because we doubled down on that EPL bet, and Chelsea's fourth. Arsenal's third, United's 13th, and I've got to buy him two tops and buy you two tops because I'm calling now. It's done. So
Yeah,
start picking your tops. I might as well just buy them for you.
not looking good, Doma, for your boys,
No,
the Red Devils. Mate. It could all fall apart, and frankly, we'll talk a little bit later. But Ten Hag could not make it to the end of the season. That's a
not even
possibility.
he might not make it to the international break or
It's
the summer break, or whatever it is. He could be done in the next week.
not
Oh,
looking good.
that's
Not
right.
looking good.
Yeah,
But
we'll start with the AFL. So let's get to the
Doma,
AFL.
we will start with the AFL, and obviously anyone who didn't catch the grand final, it was 120 Brisbane to 60 Sydney. It was an absolute demolition. It was only a game for about a quarter and a half. And funny enough, Doma, that was the quarter and a half that you caught over there in New York, where they actually had it on Fox
Yes.
Sports
Yep.
live on Fox
Yep.
Sports. So you didn't even have to get it on the World Wide Web,
Even got
one
mate.
of the
Even
many
when the
made
game
places.
was on, got the BT commentary.
Got the BT
Unbelievable.
commentary and
Got the
everything
BT.
all the way over there in the States, in New York.
The,
So
the
good to see.
The weird thing was, though, I think the broadcasters here in the States at quarter time, they didn't go to commercials in the first quarter. So at quarter time, it's just like dead silence, and you just hear the crowd talking, like the hum, the murmur in the
Yeah,
atmosphere, and you
yeah.
just see them go into their huddles, and it showed the whole quarter time break. They didn't actually go to a
Oh,
commercial. So it was interesting to watch because even if you watch it on KO, where there is no ads, it always cuts to the KO broadcast team and they dissect the first quarter. And it was very interesting to watch. It was really weird, to be honest. I was like, what the hell's going
ah,
on here? But
you caught the best part of the game, Dom, because
I
then after
did
that it was an
a
absolute
quarter and a half.
demolition.
I think I was
Brisbane
saying to you
dominated.
41, or I think 35 to 21 or 41 to 21. I went to bed. And then you take over because
After that, it was a demolition. The midfield battle was dominated by the Lions. You know, Will Ashcroft and Neil and Dunkley, everyone in there, they just did what they wanted. Everyone joined in on the party. Was kicking goals. Everyone was getting celebrated. It was one of those grand finals. I mean, you always have that worry when we get such a great grand final last year that it was always going to have that potential to have a blowout, and we have seen it before that this can happen. Disappointing, for just the general onlookers and everyone that wants to have an exciting game. But nonetheless, Brisbane too strong. And Doma, what can I say? We called it. Go back to what did you tell me before? What episode it was? 2013, 213. Episode 213, where we said there's only 4 teams that can win it.
Yeah, I think it was 213 or 216. So after the bye, we said there's only 4 teams that could win the flag. We actually didn't have Sydney in there as a team that could win the flag, surprisingly. But at number 1, we had Brisbane, both of us, and we said it's pretty much over. No one's beaten them. But then if you take some time back and go to the AFL season preview, Saucy came out and said Brisbane are winning the flag. Irregardless of Vegas trips, Saucy came on the show before the ball was bounced in round 0 or whatever the fuck opening round, and he said it's going to be Brisbane Lions and Carlton. He just gave his second team as a prediction. It doesn't matter. You can give that team, but he did say Brisbane Lions will win the flag this year. He goes, I can't see anyone else winning. And he said Sydney will be very good. You actually said Sydney will be very good this year as well in that preview. So if you just came here and you wanted your inside, this is the guy that did pick the World Cup winner and the Premiership winner, and mate, we've called everything on this show, to be honest.
Well, this goes on. Look, and we have whiffed on a couple, but I tell you what, we've got a lot right. Now, not to toot our own horn, we're not going to keep going on. It's going to be a big off season. There's going to be plenty of trades, a lot of teams that need to improve. We're going to keep this one a bit fast paced. Obviously, Dom was in New York, and it looks like not a bad day at the back there. Is it?
I'll show you.
Sunshine.
I'll show you.
So, or is it raining?
It's actually. Oh no! How do I flip this? I don't even know how I flip it on my end. Let me have a look. Nah, it's a bit just overcast. You know what I'll do? I'll turn it this way. You'll be able to see the. Can you see the view from my?
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
There, and then down here.
Very nice.
If you can see the Madame Tussauds sign, you'll be able to see Ronaldo on there.
Oh, you'll be loving that going to sleep at night close to Ronaldo.
Well, actually, funnily enough, I should actually put it in the double coverage story. But I went to Madame Tussauds, the wax museum, and I got a photo with Ronaldo.
Why didn't you put it in the double coverage?
So
you finally met him.
There's also a video of me in public running and doing a sue right next to Ronaldo. I didn't give a fuck who's in there. And I took probably the greatest Messi photo ever.
Oh, no.
Which I have to send to you because you'll piss yourself laughing. It's probably the greatest Messi photo ever taken, to be honest.
You've done something stupid. I can already sense it already.
Yeah, pretty much. I took a photo with him. I did. I had everything in there. It's very funny. You got Trump and Kamala in there. And probably the funniest thing I ever seen was this guy. This guy was wearing a Navy uniform. Just off topic. He was wearing a Navy uniform. So in the lobby, they got Trump and Kamala. Wax figures, and all these people taking photos in the middle. Some were taking pictures with Kamala, some were taking with Trump, doing all these things and doing funny stuff. And there was a guy in a Navy uniform, the white strip.
Yep.
And he took a photo of these couple, and he goes, "Oh, I can take the photo for you." He was like, "It was really lovely." And they go, "We'll take the photo for you." And they go, "You want both?" And he goes, "No, do not put her in the photo with me." So he put his hat on. He had his hat with him, and he goes, "I just want this guy." I go. He said, "Please," "Please, respectfully, do not put her in the photo." There you go. And I was pissing myself laughing. I was laughing so much. It was hilarious. But anyway, back on topic. The weather—it's just overcast today. It's not meant to rain, but it's 21 out there, overcast. Right. But the Lions get the job done, and off season, and North looking like a destination club, mate. Luke Parker, Darling, potentially we get Houston, mate. Just give us everyone now. But we're in a bit of trouble.
Apparently, Joe Danaher is going to retire and then come back and then go play for North.
I hope so.
Big contract.
That's good. I'll take everyone, mate. Well, here's the third one we need up forward. If we had Danaher, Darling, and Larkey, it's exactly like Wade Petrie and Ben Brown.
Yeah, keep dreaming, Dom. Keep dreaming. All right, that's
But I'm
2024.
just the worry with the footy at the moment for North Melbourne, just quickly, is LDU. He hasn't signed, obviously. He's got 1 year left on his deal, but they reckon it's all pending going into next year how North go, because I don't know if you've seen the Saints. They are throwing money at LDU like there's never been seen before in football. So there's a bit of worry there that he might go to the Saints. And the other thing too, Perryman has decided to go to Collingwood. He's a good player. He's a great player from GWS. So that's a good get for Collingwood, who are lacking in their midfield a bit. So Perryman's a very good. He can play in the midfield as well as on the wing. And then the other thing I saw, I'm not sure if you noticed, Nick Dacos and Bailey Smith took a photo at the grand final together, and Ollie Dempsey. He said, "I can't wait to be there next year." And Ollie Dempsey from the Cats was like, "Yeah, can't wait to play in the grand final with you," or something. He replied to Bailey Smith's thing. So there you go. The inside mail from Double Coverage on that one. He's gone to the Cats. And the other inside thing from Double Coverage, this morning it was reported that, or last night, that Geelong is pursuing Clayton Oliver, which was also mentioned on this show a while ago. So just there's a bit happening. I don't know how the Cats can afford all these players, mind you, but
Don't worry about the sources, ladies and gentlemen, here at Double Coverage. We just put the word out. We don't have to make no clickbaity titles,
no,
whatever. Just listen to the show. The weekly listeners get the rewards, get the spoils that come and get the news first. We've got the sources. Don't worry. The inside words on scoops and scoops that we've given on this show that no one before anyone. So. Tap on the back for that.
tap on the back. All right, let's get to the EPL source.
EPL Doma. Obviously, it was mixed emotions. Good emotions for me. A very high-tempered emotions, I would say. The game against Leicester. And we'll run through the fixtures here. I'm just getting up. I didn't have that one prepared, Doma. But we're here. Newcastle gets the draw with City 1-1. Good result for my boys. Arsenal 4-2 over Leicester, 2-0 up, halftime.
Yeah, 2-2.
Going 2-0 up. It ends up 2-2. We end up scoring in just before the 90th minute or 90th minute, and then we get a late one on.
And
obviously,
your boy got back on the score sheet. Martinelli, I saw in that one.
Yeah, so good confidence booster for him, and hopefully he can push on. Brentford draw 1-1 with West Ham. Chelsea 4-2 with Brighton, Hove Albion, and Cole Palmer, Mr. Chills himself, ice cold, 4 goals in the first half. I mean, that's where you got to give him the Arshaven 4. You know what I mean? When he kicked when he kicked 4 against Liverpool, that's unbelievable.
That's not the one.
That's unbelievable.
There's a lot of we said this and this was going to happen, but as a Man United supporter, did I not say that Sancho would dominate wherever he went? Did I not say that?
You did say. It's reeking. It's real. How can you say this? The points against Ten Hag are just mounting up. Like players leaving, obviously, spent big money on players, wanted to bring these guys in. Then they come there and they turn absolute poo. Then they leave and they find their form again and find, that potential and skill that you've seen in them. Why you bought them to the club originally, right? It's just why when they get to Ten Hag, do they stagnate and stop that forward momentum in their career to then go to the next level? Why does it keep happening, Dom? So you got to think, you got to ask these questions. I really struggling to see how Ten Hag stays.
No, well, I think he did really well. Ratcliffe, so Jim Ratcliffe, that is the guy of the Ineos group. Obviously, he bought into the club.
Yeah,
he did everything right in the lead up to this season. He did everything right. Change of management staff, this and that. The only thing he made a mistake on was he decided to stay with Ten Hag. He had because you remember just before the season started, that was the last piece of the puzzle. He had the potential to go get Thomas Tuchel or Mauricio Pochettino, which you take either one of those two. I know people are like, they're not that good, blah, blah, blah. But, they're both tried and proven in the Premier League. They've coached in the Premier League. They've got experience in the Premier League. You take that. That was the only thing I think he missed on, and now it's really rearing its head. But let's fast forward a bit of time from that point to the Brighton game, and that was the game where the season ended for Manchester United. I said that on this show. It was over the moment Brighton beat us. And funnily enough, because the times are really good here to watch soccer, I was out and about doing touristy stuff, and we played at 11:30. And I kept getting updates for your game the day before, and I was like, "Oh, Mint, United's playing at 11:30 tomorrow," which was Sunday here. And I was like, sorry, Saturday here. And I've gone, I can't watch them. We're doing stuff. It doesn't matter. I turn to my cousin. I go, we're going to get absolutely pummeled at home to Tottenham, who have been average this year. And he laughed his head off. And funnily enough, get home. The first notification I got, I didn't even see the score. It was like Man United disintegrated home, ultimate capitulation, all this stuff. I was like, yeah, well, not surprised.
Not surprised.
But I reckon Graham Potter.
You'll be buying 2 jerseys, Doma. We know that.
Unless Graham Potter can come in and help us, but he's looking like the front runner, and I don't know if he's the right choice, to be honest. But I don't fucking know. They're shit. That's the bottom line. They're shit.
Chelsea 4-2 over Brighton. Everton 2-1 over Crystal Palace. Nottingham lose 1-0 to Fulham at home. Wolverhampton lose 2-1 to Liverpool. At Ipswich 2-2 with Aston Villa. That was a cracking game. I was able to catch that one. Ipswich is Aston Villa, absolutely cracking game. And then your boys lose 3-0 to Tottenham. Tottenham obviously finding a bit of form. Typical way to do it against Man United. They seem to be able to play teams into form. So well done from you boys. Maybe Tottenham will find a bit of foot into the season, and Ange Ball can kick off for the year, and Bournemouth get the win over Southampton 3-1. This week's fixtures, when's this? October the 5th, so in 4 days, you got Crystal Palace versus Liverpool, Arsenal versus Southampton. The midnight fixtures: Brentford versus Wolverhampton, Leicester versus Bournemouth, Manchester City versus Fulham, West Ham versus Ipswich, Everton versus Newcastle, and then you got some Monday morning fixtures. You got Aston Villa versus United. Doma, that could potentially be another loss. You're playing away to Villa. Chelsea plays Nottingham, and Brighton plays Tottenham at home. That will be a cracking game. That's the fixtures that are ready for next week. The ladder, Doma, which I just forgot to bring it up for Liverpool sitting on top on 15 points. You got City second on 14, equal second. Arsenal on 14, Chelsea fourth on 13, Aston Villa fifth on 13, and then Fulham 11 points, sixth, and equal in seventh is 11 points. Newcastle, and then eighth Tottenham with 10. Brighton with 9 at 9th, and Nottingham 9 at 10th. And then at the bottom is Wolves with 1 point, and Southampton with 1 point. Manchester United sitting in 13th with 7 points. All right, Doma, that was the Premier League wrap-up. And we have a bit of Champions League fixtures tomorrow. I'm not sure if you're aware. So we got the Champions League coming up tomorrow. A big round of fixtures, games kicking off just in shy of 3 hours from now. So Salzburg versus Brest. You got Stuttgart versus Sparta Prague, Arsenal versus PSG. That's why I'll be trying to get through this one so I can get to sleep, get about 4.5 hours sleep, and wake up like a nutcase and watch Arsenal absolutely slap PSG. I'm confident in that one. Donald will win 2-1, maybe 3-1. I think they will score one. They're good enough, but I think we'll be too much quality at home. And then you got Barcelona against Young Boys, Bayer Leverkusen against Milan, Borussia Dortmund against Celtic, Inter Milan versus Red Star Belgrade, PSV Eindhoven against Sporting Lisbon, Slovan Bratislava against Manchester City. Keeps going into Thursday's games. That's just Wednesdays. Then you've got Thursday's games, Girona versus Feyenoord, Shakhtar Donetsk versus Atalanta, Aston Villa versus Bayern Munich, Benfica versus Atletico Madrid, Dinamo Zagreb against Monaco, Lille versus Real Madrid, Liverpool versus Bologna, RB Leipzig against Juventus, and Sturm Graz against Club Brugge. That
Very
is
nice.
going into Wednesday's fixtures, and then they will we'll review them next week and see who's got the wins on the board, and then go over the ladder and see if we can make sense now that there's been 2 fixtures played, how this is sort of working, and then go from there. I've sort of gathered it. I watched a few things on it after the first round of fixtures, so then I'll get to watch the next thing, and then we can sort of go from there, and then sort of decipher how this is all going to play out. But
Sure.
yeah, look, we might learn to love it, but it's going to take some time to get used to the new format after how obviously the uproar, first of all, Doma, when they got rid of the away goals rule, people weren't happy about that. But you know what?
Yeah.
We've learned to get over that. We don't mind it. I think, it is probably for the best. It does make more interest in the second leg, even if there's, say, a 3-0 away in the first leg, that, it makes a lot more interest in the second leg. So I think we've learned to love it. So maybe this could be one of those. Maybe the UEFA have got onto something. We'll see. But that's the wrap up in the world game, Doma. Yeah, that's
very nice.
We will move on to UFC, Doma, and that was UFC Fight Night. Roy Mosciano versus Renato Mosciano against Benoit Saint Denis. It was Fight Night. It was hosted in France. Obviously, a lot of French fighters on the card. I'll run through just the main card results. Fares Ziam defeated Matt Frivola with a KO in the third round, lightweight division. Morgan Charimi, I could not even know how to say that, Donna. That's an absolute tongue twister. Defeats Gabriel Miranda with a KO in the second round. Morgan Charere. I reckon I'm going to go with that. Kevin Juset defeated by Brian Battle with a KO in the second round in the welterweight division. William Gomez defeats Joanderson Brito with a third round decision. Then in the middleweight division, you had Nasruddin Umanov defeated Brendan Allen with a third round decision. And then in the main event, Renato Moneyman Mocciano. And I said to you last week, Doma, if you took my advice, he was paying a whopping $3.30. And I said to you, mate, he's got the ability. He's got the knockout power, mate. Benoit was knocked out last time. He's got the ability to knock him out. Literally said it last week on the show. And I just called it because he knocked him out in the second round, Dom. He absolutely dominated him. And I'm not sure if you've seen, he was injured. He had he had a broken bone in his left shoulder. His bone was, he showed an X-ray, and you could see it in the fight. Was one angle, his bones like sticking up.
I did see that photo, but I didn't realize it was him.
No, he had his shoulder was fucked going into the fight, and he still went in there and defeated Saint Denis in front of the French crowd. The Frenchman in front of the French crowd knocked him out in the second round. Just crazy. He's just a nutcase. He's just a nutcase, and if you got a bonus for that, he definitely deserved it. But yeah, it was a great fight. I only caught that fight. I wasn't able to. It was on at 5 a.m. I was lucky enough because you got obviously KO. If you got KO, you can go back because it was a free fight night. You can go right back and watch the replay. So I went back and watched the main fight. And Mocciano absolutely destroyed him. It was, from start to finish of that until the KO, it was a domination. He won the first round 10-8 with ease, and then he knocked him out in the second round. So, I'm not sure. I don't think it was a knockout. I think it was a TKO. I think it was he couldn't start the next round because his eye had swelled up that bad from damage. He couldn't open his eye. It was swelled shut. So they had to stop the fight, and it still counts as a TKO. So we move on to UFC 307, Toma. This weekend, it's an absolute belter. Get down, make sure you set yourself in front of the telly this weekend. This Sunday, 1 p.m. kicks off. That's Australian Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget also, Doma, this week, obviously living in Australia, if you live in our region, daylight saving starts. So there's a little notification for people that live in Victoria. Daylight saving starts, I believe, this weekend. So don't forget that one. For people around the world who listen to this and have no idea what we're talking about, we put our clocks forward an hour for a certain period of
I think
time.
they
Then
do it they
day.
do it at
So,
different times too.
yeah, so certain places may do it, certain places don't do it, and some people think it's stupid. So I don't know why we do it, but we do it. But UFC 307 this weekend, it's headlined by Alex Pereira against Khalil
Oh
Roundtree,
fuck, he's already
light
fighting again.
heavyweight. Mate, he's the most active fighter at the moment. He's the new Volkanovski. He's the yes man of the UFC. This is why he has risen to the heights he has in such a small amount of time, because he keeps saying yes and he keeps winning, and just winning in a crazy fashion, and knocking guys out and just dominating, rising through the divisions. So this will be an absolute belter. The main card, I'm not even going to go through it because we're just going to, look, I will. Raquel Pennington against Juliana Pena, Jose Aldo against Muriel Batista, Catalin Vieira against Kayla Harrison. That's going to be a cracker. Kayla Harrison's an absolute beast. Rowan DeLids against Kevin Holland. That's a cracker. Let's have a look at oh my god, how's this fight on the fucking prelim, bro? Stephen Wonderboy Thompson against Jalcon Buckley. It's on the prelim, Dom. That's not even on the main card, dude. Right? This card's cooked, right? Marina Rodriguez against Isman Lucino, and Cesar Almeida against Ua Poltira. Those ones aren't as good, but still pretty good. And then you've got a few early prelims. Geez, there's some good fights on the early prelims as well. So, mate, tune in from 9:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. This weekend, UFC 307. It's going to be a cracker. Alex Pereira against Khalil Roundtree. Alex Pereira wins, obviously, by knockout with a left hook. They always say the same thing every time. And I've been pretty good with that. That's served me well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Why change a winning formula?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Let's see if Khalil Roundtree can,
Stop the left hook.
well, not cop the left hook and try take him to the ground and make him do a bit of grappling, because it's, no one's really forced that upon him, but let's see if he can. So yeah, I'm going to obviously go for Pereira with the KO from the left hook. And yeah, we will move on, Doma. That was UFC roundup for the week, and we'll just last but not least, on the sports roundup, before we move into a bit of hobby talk, and then I'll let you take over, Doma, because you've got a bunch of stuff to talk about and things that you indulged in hobby wise over there in New York. So I'll let you take over for things.
Yeah, no.
And also I'll also let you take over here a little bit when we run through the NFL, Doma. So NFL week 4 has gone by, and you're over in New York. So what better way to start us off? You caught the game. How are we even saying this on the show? You caught the fucking game. You were at the game. You went to the game. You went to the game.
I was at the
Giants versus Cowboys.
Yeah, I was at the Giants versus the Cowboys. It was a
Thursday night football.
Thursday night football. I've been to the States multiple times. I've actually been here 3 times. And the 2 previous times I've been here, it's been out of season, 1 time for NFL. The second time, both New York teams were playing away. And then this time, I didn't get to the Jets game, but both New York teams were playing here at home. So I was like, oh, mint. So it just worked out. We went to the Giants-Cowboys game. The only downside is after the game, the parking, to leave that venue is a disaster. Like, they filter everyone through this one tunnel that has to go over a bridge. Just imagine having like 60,000 people go through one tunnel, maybe even more. But the atmosphere was amazing. They had it was like New York Giants light night or something. So they gave all these lights to people on their wrist, and then they were like in sync and stuff to music and whatnot that was playing at the stadium. So they turned off all the stadium lights and just have the wrist lights going on, like to do some entertainment stuff during the game, and it was unbelievable. So I love the experience. The game was good, but when you watch a lot of NFL and stuff, it wasn't the best game. Unfortunately, the umpires thought that it was the UFL, the Umpire Football League, and they were throwing flags like it was going out of fashion. And that even the supporters are sitting there just like, mate, let's just get to half time. Let's get to three-quarter time. This is ridiculous. I think there was like 32 seconds left in the second or the third quarter, and they just kept throwing flags. So it just went on forever. And I was just like, come on, man, just let the play run. No one's going to score here. Jeez. But the Giants lose 20-15, I'm pretty sure the score was.
Yep.
They scored 5 field goals, the Giants. And Dallas, 2 TDs and 2 field goals.
No TDs in the second half. Is that
None.
right?
Yeah. I'm telling you, the Cowboys are average. All right. I know everyone, like, people thought the Cowboys were going to smash them. Cowboys average, and the Giants, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely stink. Oh my God, they are shit. Oh, Daniel Jones, like, in all honesty, I'm going to say this, if they had Aaron Rodgers in that QB position, Dallas loses that game on Thursday. Like, they probably lose convincingly. Giants had all the ball.
So what's it like, obviously, viewing it in person compared to viewing it on the tally?
Oh, it's a great sport watching it live, but it's one of those sports like, I don't know, probably like soccer or basketball. It's better when you watch it on, well, baseball. Baseball, it's the best when you watch it on TV, in my opinion. You know, like, but I'm not saying it's terrible. It's just very stop start because there's a lot of timeouts and stuff, and then TV breaks. So it is very, very stop start. So that's, in all honesty, that's why our code, the AFL, and in my opinion, football, soccer are the 2 best sports, and even NRL. They're the 3 best sports to watch, pretty much live, because it's just continuous. They don't throw timeouts in there, and there's a break here. The basketball does it really, really well because when they do timeouts, they got like people that come in and do like the trampoline dunks, and the cheerleaders come in there, do their thing, and then halftime there's a show or a singer. The basketball's got it worked out, but the NFL, it's a bit harder. You can't do that. Baseball is continuous, but it's just a slow sport. But it was great to watch. I loved it, every moment of it. And we sat really high, like we sat on the highest level, and it's one of those things like the G. Everyone bags people that sit on level 4. They go to ants and you can't see it, but schematically you can see everything.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, this is how he's going to run the route here. Are you probably going to do? And you see it all happen. But the one thing in person that is different to TV, when the QB throws a fake or gives a fake pass, in all honesty, on TV you can see it, what he's doing on a play action. Live, I'm watching the receiver get the fake pass, and I'm watching him the whole time going, oh, fuck. He's through. And then Dak Prescott's still got the ball in his hand. He's thrown, and I'm going, oh, shit, the play's over here. You can't tell. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, it's unbelievable. Oh, it's unbelievable. But, yeah, Daniel Jones, man, they had all the play source. They had all the play, and they just couldn't convert. So
couldn't convert, and that's the Giants are going to stink all season.
They're no good.
They're going to struggle. So the Cowboys get the job done, as you mentioned. You were at the game. That's an absolute cracking story right there, dominated once in a lifetime experience. So hopefully there can be more of these on the show. Maybe at some point I could get over there. Maybe you again. Maybe us together. Who knows, right? What the future holds. Then we had I'll run through the other games that went by. Obviously, these are the Monday morning fixtures. Sunday over there in the States, you had Tampa Bay getting the win over the Eagles. You had Denver Broncos defeating New York Jets 10-9.
Lucky I didn't go to that game.
10-9. Lucky you didn't go to that absolute belter of a game that would have been. You had the Colts defeating the Steelers, and I'm not sure if you seen Old
Flacco.
wise man Joe Flacco comes in for Anthony Richardson. I know you want to give the young man the reps, but it just shows like when you get a seasoned guy comes in and obviously knows how to manage an offense. And as much as you want to say Joe Flacco, Schmacko, Wacko, whatever you want to call him, he's got one Super Bowl and you don't. Right. And he led a team to a Super Bowl and you didn't. Right. And he got paid for it. And so the man should have. Right. But he's still good. And it just baffles you. It just baffles you that the Colts have him as a backup when some teams literally have worse starting quarterbacks than Joe Flacco. Like it just baffles me.
We take him at the Dolphins in a heartbeat at the moment.
It just baffles me. But, he comes in, leads the Colts to the win 27-24 over the Steelers. You got the Texans defeating the Jaguars 24-20. Green Bay defeated by Minnesota Vikings 29-31. Yeah, Chicago Bears defeating the Rams 24-18. The Bengals defeating the Panthers 34-24. The Panthers, honestly, Dom, they might not win a game. They might actually not win a game. Maybe one. We'll just give them one. Maybe one game all season. That's what they might win. Atlanta Falcons defeat the Saints 26-24. 49ers defeat the Patriots 30-13. The Commanders defeat the Cardinals 42-14. You have the Chiefs defeating the Chargers 17-10. And I'm not sure if you've seen the Messiah was back with the Herbert, Smerbert, Sherbert, Burbert, whatever you call him, and the memes about Herbert, doing the little mini Herbert. It was pretty funny. Well done, the Messiah. And obviously, come back to a bit of fun. Las Vegas Raiders defeat Cleveland Browns 20-16. Baltimore Ravens defeat Buffalo Bills 35-10. A slapping. 25 points they dispatch of the Bills at home. And then you get Dolphins defeated by the Titans 12-31. Dolphins absolutely nothing without Tua and really need to relook the plans of what is the quarterback for the Dolphins going forward, because I mean you've got a good defense. You need a your offense to be humming, to be in sync, and you could do a lot more in that division. And then the Lions defeat the Seahawks 42-29, an absolute belter of a game, high scoring. That's what you want to see. And Doma, that leaves obviously the standings, and we'll just quickly have a look once it loads. The overall standings, you got the Chiefs on top, the only team undefeated. Oh, what a surprise. What a surprise. Chiefs on top, Bills, Steelers, Texans, Ravens, Chargers, Jets, Broncos, Colts, Raiders. That rounds out the top 10. I'm not going to go any further than that. Obviously, the Jags, haven't won. The only team to not win, that's in the American Conference. And then in the National Conference, you've got Vikings on top with 4-0. And then you got the Lions, Commanders, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Saints, 49ers, Packers, Bears, Cowboys. That rounds out the top 10. And then you got the Panthers, who have won a game. Sorry, they might only win one game all season. The Panthers, they have won a game already. I should say that. They won 2 weeks ago or last week. But they stink, and they're sitting on bottom. And that rounds out the NFL, Doma. We will move on to next week, which I'm not going to go through the fixtures. We'll just review them when the week comes. That's that, Doma. We will roll into hobby talk, and mate, take us away.
Yeah,
if anyone, ladies and gentlemen, we obviously gave the word out last week that Doma was heading over to the New York, and watch on the socials so you can see what he gets up to. And obviously, you put a few photos at Bleecker and with the great man Cage Lawyer, who's been on this show, and we've been on his show back in the day. How was it, Dom?
Well, first and foremost, just a big thank you to Cage and to Bleecker, especially Cage, like catching up with him. I teed this up well and truly in advance into the lead up to the trip, and he's obviously given his time to meet with me, and he really wanted to meet me, obviously, and it was really good. So we caught up, and he surprised me on the day because we were meant to just go get some lunch around the area, and then he's like, "Oh, can you get an extra hour out of our time? Because if you do," he goes, "I think we can get something sorted." I'm like, "Yeah, I've got the extra hour." And he was nice enough to surprise me. He took me down into the subway. I'm like, "Where's this guy taking me?" I was like, "What's Cage doing to me here?" Anyway, he got me on a train and took us down to 14th Street. I think it's 14th, where Bleecker. You come up and it's Bleecker, and we went to the shop, and it was amazing. Jacob and the crew there, just man. I walked out the back. Cage said hello to a few people. Obviously, they know who he is, and one of the employees there straight up just goes, "Oh, here you go, man. Welcome," and he gives me 4 packets of cards for nothing. Sauce.
On entry, how's that? How's
Oh,
that
on it.
for a card shop experience for an Aussie heading over to the States?
Yeah. So I was like, "Oh, sick." And then Kate's like, "Yeah, take a seat, rip them." And I was ripping. And mind you, he gave me sleeves and top loaders as well, the shop, in case I hit something, anything good. I forgot to mention that part to you. Yeah.
There you go.
Then Jacob came in, who's one of the higher ups there at Bleecker, and Cage introduced me to him. And he's just like, "Here you go, take some of these." He just got me some SP authentic NFL packs from back in the day, and they're like, I think it was like 35 Australian a pack sauce, a pack. So he goes, "Yeah, take them, open them." So I had fun the whole afternoon with Cage there, ripping cards, and Cage was very, very kind to buy boxes and packs, like vintage packs, and we're ripping stuff. I ripped like Skybox that we collected back in the day, and like when we first started the podcast, we got a few graded Skybox cards, so we opened
Yeah,
that. NFL
awesome.
box, opened baseball, open all sorts of stuff. It was good fun. And Cage, honestly, what you see is what you get with Cage. What you see on the show is what he is in real life, in person. He's awesome person. We got pizza in Bleecker. So the way you walk
American
into
slice, nice New York
yeah,
slice.
New York slice. Well, it's called pie. Got a full pie here in New York. At one of the most well, they're not the most famous, but one of the up and coming pizza joints here, and they had a line around the block, like at 3 o'clock, which is crazy. But Jacob, he pulls the strings because at Bleecker, obviously they go and eat there. He just walks in and gets it sorted, and yeah, it was. It
An
was
awesome experience.
it was
It sounds so much fun. And it's good to see that the guys at Bleecker, treated you well, and I'm sure that's what the service you got sounds like the sort of hospitality
a
of that word.
hospitality.
Hospitality that
Yeah.
you would expect when you walk into a card shop, and warm,
So,
welcoming entrance, and
so
everything. So and
when you
obviously,
walk in, it's a smaller shop front at the front,
yep,
uh, but then at the back there's couches and like some tables, and then they've got an outdoor area right at the back where there's a basketball ring and stuff. But in that back area, the photo I put up with Cage and stuff, how it's got like the painting of Bleecker trading,
yeah,
like the graffiti and stuff on there. And they got memorabilia. I took a photo. They got a signed Kobe Bryant photo in there. So I took a photo so I could show you. Yeah, it's
awesome.
just nice. It's a sick vibe. And at the back there, when I was ripping cards, I met a couple that had travelled from Wales. So
Yep,
there was a Welsh couple in there, and
that's
they were
cool.
ripping cards. There was a couple locals that had just come in. They were ripping stuff. There was a little
Could
kid
they
that
believe that an Australian was in the store?
no, well, Cage was like, "This is double coverage," and they knew, like the Bleecker guys were like, "Yeah, we know the podcast," and he goes, "Oh, this is one of them. Oh, this is crazy," and they were so happy that I was there visiting, and that's a big thanks to Cage
That's
once again.
awesome. That's
So yeah,
awesome.
it was awesome experience, and then of course you get the one question. The one question you get asked is, "What are you ripping at the moment?" And I said, "Yeah, nah, not basketball or hockey or anything NFL." And they said, "Oh, what? You don't get allocation?" I said, "No, no, no, no. We get allocation." I said, "Like, but the problem is the boxes, as you guys know, are so expensive, and what you get in return is shit. And they were like, yeah, it's a valid point. So I was like, I'm the most affordable and best value product in all of Australia is football cards, but Australian football cards. And they're like, oh, like how much is boxes there? I said like the entry level $150 a box for like footy stars. I said you can get redemptions in there. And they're like, what? I said, yeah, you can get redemptions. You can get autos through redemptions. Like it's very hard to hit it in a retail product. And then I said
Yeah,
we've got
it is a
another.
retail product.
Yeah, I
Yes,
said then
correct.
we've got another product that's retail as well, and there's a lot of inserts in there that go for a lot of money. But I said then as it moves up the chain, it gets unbelievable in terms of value. And I said I was explaining to them like booklets in the AFL space are actually worth a lot of money and they're sought after, unlike over in the States or in the basketball hobby, NFL hobby. That people don't really, they're not fans of booklets. So
Yeah.
I was explaining that to them, and they were just like, "Oh, what's the price points?" Well, I said before I even tell you the price point, I go, I want to show you the latest product. So this is a good plug here for Select. So if you want to sponsor us, by all means, this is how you do it, because I've gone over the States and I've showed him Supremacy,
The new
and
Supremacy, yeah, just released.
I just think before I showed him anything, I explained to him there's triple patches, they're match worn. They got triple patch autos in here. They got the booklets. I said they've even got this. I was explaining to him like longest serving captains booklet, which has got 9 autos in it from 9 of the longest serving captains in the AFL. And I said they did a specialty for one of the best players in our game because he kicked 1,000 goals, so they got a special card there. I said there's only a couple. Coventry kicked. No, the only 2 players that
Four.
kicked 1,000 goals, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's only 3 or
Franklin.
4.
Yeah, but anyway, I said like another guy that's kicked over 1,000 goals. They actually got him, which was Plugger. I said they got him to do a dual auto with this guy, and they're like, "What the hell?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So then I went through the PDS, and showed them all the
Sell
cards,
sheet, all
the
the
sell
like
sheet,
different cards that you
which
can get. Yeah,
which we went through on the show last week. So I showed them exactly that, and they're looking at it, going, "Fuck, these cards look great." And they go, "How much is a box?" I said, $890
that's Australian though.
Australian. So I
Did you
said to
say
him,
that to him?
yeah, I said it's about seven. I said I think it's 740 US. And Cage looked at me and he went, "Sorry." I said, "Yeah," and I said they only make X amount of boxes. So I said it's limited print run. I said there isn't like 20,000 cases made. I said once it's gone, it's gone. He goes, "Man, this product here is worth 15 grand a box if this was in the US." I said, "Yeah, I'm aware." So then after that, I showed him the Brownlow product. I said it's been 100 years of our MVP, the league MVP. This year was the 100th anniversary, so they put out a Brownlow series, and that's what it's called. The MVP is called a Brownlow, and they're like, "Oh yeah." I said so. They went out to as many current Brownlow players that are currently still alive, and they got him to do all these booklets. And I showed him the booklet, and I said they put a replica of the Brownlow in the booklet, and they were all blown away. I was just like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, and I said, here's the part that you're gonna love the most. Select do no stickers. Everything is on card, and that was it. They were like, and Cage was like, "Mate, I'm gonna try and find out if anyone in the States imports any of this Select stuff. If not, I'm gonna have to start collecting it."
Oh, mate, I'd say we've been saying it for a long time on this show, haven't we, Don, about Select and the quality of the cards. It's just the way they go about things and they do their products and releases. It's just done well. It's just done well. The way that the quality of the cards from the all on card
Yeah,
autos, they just do
correct.
things well. And you've explained that to them over there at the States, and they're gobsmacked because and the reality is they're so used to getting served up what they're getting served up, and people keep buying it, people keep buying into breaks, people keep cracking it, and that's part of the reason why wax prices will never come down, Doma. And, that's part of the reason why now, what are we seeing? What's the newest one? WNBA Select Panini going for $1,000 a box. This is WNBA, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. And there's no dig at obviously the WNBA, but if you went back even just 2 years ago, people couldn't even fathom paying that for obviously the WNBA, and that's
So
just 2 years ago.
you're selling a
And I
product.
understand, the Caitlin Clark hype. I get it, but is it really, you can't. It blows out the water of what you're going to get back per box, and it just makes no sense to pay $1,000 for a box. It just makes no sense. If you really that desperately want to, collect Caitlin Clark, you're better off just buying her cards. Just buy her cards, buy singles, and collect her that way. You'll be happier, later on, and you'll get a better collection out of it. And that's the reality, isn't it, Doma?
Correct.
But that's an awesome story that you had, obviously, meeting Cage, how many interactions we've had with him over the years that we've been doing this podcast, and the amount of times that we've had him on, and we've been on his show and talked to him on Instagram lives, and the works, that many chats with him over, Messenger and messaging and everything. So, yeah, amazing stuff. And
he said to say hello to you. He loves you, obviously. And I gave regards to him from the Messiah, and he was up and about when I told him that as well. Because Jay's obviously met him. And yeah, he loves him. He said he's a like very genuine and great person. So he goes, please send my love to Jay as well. So yeah, it was a great experience, man. Yeah, it would have been more fun if Manny was there. Well,
yeah.
sorry, Manny. Don't worry, mate. I'll come to Michigan, mate. We can go to a Michigan Wolverines game together.
Oh, I knew that one was going in there. Yes, I knew it too. That was perfect timing, Doma. Absolutely perfect timing. You plugged that in there.
But I'll tell you what's happening today. I don't know. I'm going to message Cage now, actually. I've got to go finish a few things off here. But he was pretty busy with work. But he said if there was a little break somewhere, we might be able to catch each other again today. So I'm not getting my hopes up because he's very busy. But if we don't catch up today, like on the record one more time, I know I said it to him 1,000 times when I caught up with him. But yeah, just a huge thanks to him and his hospitality, the hospitality of Bleecker. Everything that Cage did for me in that 2 hours that we were together was amazing. I really do appreciate it. And I said to him, I'll reciprocate that for sure when he comes down to Australia. And he said sometimes he will. At some time, he said he would like to come down and visit Australia. So I said, but when you do, you got to come to Melbourne. That's where we're from, Melbourne. The card scene is in Melbourne. Don't waste your time anywhere else.
Yeah,
all right?
If you want anything card related, Melbourne is the best place.
That's it, straight out. And we'll take it to Cherry and whoever else. We'll take him to Luna Cards. We can just take him around everywhere, mate. Don't worry.
We've got a few. There's a few places. There's a few places.
We
don't know if we're going to be walking in there. They're going to be giving you $35 SP packs on the house.
Oh, don't worry. There will be. Don't worry. There will be.
I reckon, maybe if we word up old mate Big G that Cage is coming down, and we could make it happen.
Big G, don't worry about that. You'll give him a box of
Big G unit.
G unit. Don't worry. We'll work it out when that time comes. But yeah, big thanks to everyone. Sauce over Dom. The movement started 100%. Going to Australia and just hanging out with Sauce and Cherry. Dom can fight kangaroos. That's okay. I'll put some spiders in your suitcase.
Oh man, I'm killing spiders every day. Just about.
Don't say that to Manny. He's definitely not going to want to spend time with you.
Oh, it's all right, mate. Mate, you're living in Australia. You just got to deal with it, mate. You got to have fly swatters all around the house and cans of just Mortein just sitting around. Just sitting around in every room, just in a cupboard, ready to go.
I love it.
But that's awesome, Doma. And obviously, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to round it up. We've talked the hour, got through main things. But obviously, the hobby talk was more about just Doma's experience over there in the States and things you've got to look forward to. Where obviously, when you go to New York, and there's a lot more, card shops that Dom could go to. Bleak is one of two shops that are in New York, and I'm sure there's a bunch of others
There's
that
probably
obviously
heaps. Well, Blake has
Cage can
opened
tell
up.
you about.
Blake is opening up. They've opened up a second store too.
Yeah, there you go.
So
That's
which
what I
is
mean.
really
That's
good.
you only went to one of two of
One.
their stores, and I'm sure there's so many other. And
Yeah.
Look, it was just it was an impromptu trip for you, and you've made the most of it in that sense of fitting something hobby related. You've gone to an NFL game, and
I'm going, and I'm topping it off tonight. I'm going to the hockey game at
oh,
Madison
there you
Square
go.
Garden.
Chuck a few stories up on the
Yeah, I will. I will. I'll put
double
something.
coverage on the double coverage. That would be good. Awesome, mate. Ladies and gentlemen,
keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. It's double coverage, and peace.
don't forget to like and subscribe. And till next time, peace. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.